Greetings, everyone. Happy Wednesday to you all. As Wednesday is quickly coming to a close here in JP, many of you are just starting your Wednesday or in the middle of your Wednesday, and I hope it's going great. And before we go any further, Gilgamesh in Wotv is Earth. At least he's Earth as of the moment in the Final Fantasy V event that is going on JP. So more about that later. I didn't do a video about the update this week because it's been a little bit busy and I didn't even get to eat food today until I finally got to live stream time. That's how kind of crazy my day has been. But have no fear, I've eaten, we've seen the live stream, and we're going to do a recap for you today. So let's get right into it. And what better way to start a live stream for the 3.5 anniversary than with a Wotv apology? That's right. So as it turns out, there's been a few errors on JP recently, and one of the more interesting ones was yesterday when we logged in to do Guild War. It turns out that everyone had been rolled back to bronze, which if you know the rating system, basically as you win more and more, you go up in ranks and you get better and better. And as it turns out, some error happened in the system and we ended up going back to bronze. There's also been some other stuff that's been going on that's been causing problems on JP. So what's more traditionally Wotv than just having an apology on stream? But jokes aside, we do have some good 3.5 anniversary stuff, starting off with this, which is basically on the left, everyone gets this. All JP players will end up getting these. But interestingly, the rewards this time around are chosen by the player. So if you are hankering more for some horns, you can go with this one. If you're looking for scrolls, you can go with this one, this, excuse me, cough, cough. And yeah, kind of nice to see that they are giving us more choices. Now, as for the major things this week, we were getting a roadmap into the future. We're getting a new character announced. And as it turns out, we're also getting a VC. So with that being said, the character is basically who you absolutely should expect it to be at this point. If you have been watching my videos recently, you know that the 3.5 anniversary is themed towards a very specific character's wedding. So with a little bit of music overlapping and everything, we're going to take a look at this. Say hello to the guy who can raise the biggest flag with a stag, who's going to be using a lot of magic. Best I could come up with how tired I am. Alright, so there it is. Now, the announcement was only for Jaden this evening. It did not include Alaya. So, Alaya potentially at a later date, but for now, we're going to be focusing basically on the new Jaden. And new Jaden is looking pretty like he might be quite a impactful character on not only the JP meta, but for the good future to come. So as we said, he is a spear-wielding character. He will be using a magic-based stat, as his sub-jobs are Grimoire Master, the same job as Halloween Lucia, and his other sub-job will be Cleric, which is interesting because that has a Sunaga in it, which could be potentially useful in the correct situations. And as for his main job, it is considered to be a Stag Lancer. Do with that whatever you will. Ice Elemental character and a 100 cost. It was not mentioned on stream as him being limited. So for people who are worried about that, you won't have to worry too much. This is to do with also a story event that will be happening around the time of the 3.5 anniversary to do with Alaya and Jaden's wedding. But here you can see he will be active on JP from the 14th to the 31st. And he is in fact a ice elemental character, which is one of the most represented elements so far this year, interestingly enough. And we'll get into his details after I skip ahead a bit to talk about his limit burst. So first off, limit burst is going to be an inverted triangle, or as I like to call it, shotgun style. Shotgun wedding, anyone? This will be an area attack that will reduce piercing attack resistance as well. So potentially a strong limit burst to do with an entire spear-based team, but since he is a magical unit, it might be difficult to find out exactly what team he will be best on, but we'll see, because now we're going to talk about the details of him. So Jaden is a magical dependent spear attacker who fights in weakening his opponent by destroying magical barriers and canceling re-raise. Also has a brand new effect that, and here's the big one, here's the showstopper, has an effect that reduces opponent's hate to 0. It can erase the hate of a tank type character that raises hate and accepts attacks. Interestingly enough, this is also reducing the hate off of passives or buffs. So basically, if you have an ability that generates hate, if you have just natural hate from the beginning of battle, if this attack on the bottom left, which is also a single target attack, connects with an opponent, it will reduce hate to 0. That could also work twofold, since any unit that's generating hate naturally could also have their hate reset as well. So it'll be very interesting to see how the AI handles this and everything. But needless to say, this is, just from what we've mentioned so far, an incredibly anti-RAF tank. Like, we don't even need to really talk about anything else. This unit hates, can kill re-raisers, just get rid of magical barriers, and also reduce hate. This is the most anti-RAF unit that has ever come along. Might as well have a bumper sticker that says, I hate RAFs. Now, interestingly, other details that we learned is the strengthening of a barrier. Bottom right, he does have an ability that can give not only attack resistance here, but, and I do believe it is single target attack resistance, but also can give a barrier to himself that deals or that removes physical damage from hurting him. Interestingly, getting him into his EX will raise it from 7,500 HP that it covers up to 10,000 physical damage that can be removed from hurting this character. Reincarnation will also reduce slash penetration rate with Shield Blessing, adding this kind of debuff. So basically what it does is, units such as slash units that require getting through unit slash resistance, this unit can get rid of some of that as well, making him potentially also good. Should be noted that he also doesn't have guts or re-raise himself, so he is depending a lot on his barrier to keep him alive. It'll be interesting to see how the balance works out with this character. Naturally, just the removal of hate could be very strong and very impactful on the current meta, especially with how many teams run tanks lately to protect strong offensive characters. This could quite change the JP's meta on its head and really punish teams that absolutely rely on tanks taking a lot of damage up for other units. So it'll be very curious to see how Jaden ends up working into the meta, but at least from the initial impressions, he's got AoEs, single targets, and support style effects. He has Isuna from Cleric, and Grimoire Master gives him Sure Hit. So he is looking to be a very stacked character in terms of everything that he has available to him. And last but not least, I think that again, hate removal to an extreme degree is very interesting to see how it will be. There will also, of course, be a brand new weapon for Jaden that will be focused around him, a brand new spear that will probably also be magic orientated, and we'll see how that looks when it's out. And this usual strengthening missions, everything like that. So yeah, let's skip ahead a bit and talk about the next major thing that was announced. What would a new unit be without a new Esper? So say hello to Dark Shiva, the new 90 cost Esper and VC that will be, well, not the Esper costing 90, but anyway, Dark Shiva looks to be a magical Esper for probably ice type units, if I had to guess. And the VC itself will be targeting both ice and water combinations, so in the same way as Chaos Odin's vision card. So new Jaden looking expensive. Continuing on, we do have this, which is basically the announcement of about 350 free summons for JP over the course of May 14th to June 2nd. Including, and I forgot the music isn't running. No wonder it's so quiet. Oof. Anyway, that's staying in. Where was I? Yes, 350 summons, so there's going to be some guaranteed URs in there, just some regular guaranteed multis, URs fixed frames, and then here we have the login bonuses, which includes 3 summon tickets for Jaden, 4 UR horns over the course of roughly the second half of May, which is pretty nice. Some UR scrolls in there, some other scrolls, a lot of skip tickets, which sure, whatever, I guess. And just some general lapis and all of that good stuff. Also, there'll be, of course, the usual style of campaigns for basically up on everything in every which way, and you can see them listed there. Yay. Continuing on, there will also be a special JP event focused around the 3.5 anniversary to do with fighting the big weapon-based character or enemy from the book 3 of the main story. Depending on the number of challenges of all users, you can receive a 10 summon ticket, or limited titles will be presented with Phantom Stones by lottery. I hate these things. I absolutely, I want to drop an F-bomb here. Hate these things because you just don't win these. Most of the general population doesn't win this, but hey, I guess we're gotcha players, so is what it is. But yeah, you can get some multi-tickets, you can get some titles, and you have the chance of winning 100,000 lapis, which is almost enough to pull a single character nowadays. I kid, but yeah, not super big fan of this, but I will be entering it because days end with Y. Next up, the next wave battle has been announced for JP. Starting on May 24th, the newest wave will be Fist and Katana based. So here we have the Dragon Claw, and I can't remember what the sword is called. I mean, I'm reading as Ama no Murakumo as the kind of Japanese, but I'm also probably really wrong on that. So let's just pretend I said something clever and smart and not just super tired. So this I'm really excited about because a katana-based weapon, I do believe it is a katana and not a sword. Sephiroth, Astrius cannot, I mean, if it's just an extremely overpowered piece of equipment, both of those characters will love it. And as for a new fist weapon, throw it on Tifa, Edward, who else? Preen, obviously, Snow. I mean, the sky's the limit with this one. This is probably one really, really worth clearing. There was also announced that there is going to be a new story update, a new story chapter starting on the 14th for JP players, as well as the mission 15 for Wind and Light in the Selection Quest department. And skipping ahead, last thing that we really need to talk about tonight is this, which is the future roadmap. So for the month of May, big things is modifying the route to strengthen EX job abilities, adding ways of just organizing stuff, specifically VCs with party abilities to when you are building parties, just easier ways to find that. Also, AI modification to how recovery effects are used, proxy battle or proxy settings and proxy operations in guild battles, and last but not least, adjustment to class match and arena awards. In the month of June, we'll see story favorited quests, guild battle improvements such as simulations of basically testing stuff, able to turn off intimacy between characters in the setting for each mode, and last but not least, pickup match reward adjustments, and all of that is in June. Last but not least, in July, looking to add food to barracks all at once, possibility to improve the guild statues all at once, and last but not least, add status items for individuals, and range resistance will be able to be seen, as well as being able to sort by defense, spirit, and AP for just sorting through equipment. So a bunch of equipment, stuff, content that will be added for the 3.5 anniversary, and no doubt Jaden and Dark Shiva, I think, are the most interesting part of this update. Because sure, free polls, story updates, free rewards, login bonuses, all of those are really nice. But how will the meta change? With the introduction of so many new 140s this week of old Final Fantasy characters, such as Lightning, Snow, and Cecil, for example, with the coming up upgrades to Flag Glassy and Engelbert, it's going to be an interesting couple of weeks. But last but certainly not least, we just got to again make mention of the fact that we are getting a brand new character with a seriously potentially game-changing ability. Yes, there have been ways of potentially like adjusting hate on characters from the past, but not something that feels like this much to a degree. So Jaden's the 3.5 anniversary character, and it feels quite right that he's going to be potentially really powered up by the time that Shiva comes around, and we could see a really big change away from just hate and tank compositions towards much more brawler and offensive types. But hey, Jaden's probably going to need a tank himself, so what's the balance on all of this? Find out soon in the future. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video and found it informative. And of course, as always, remember to send your parents' credit card information. Allegedly. Yeah, now I can say that and not get in trouble. Oh, shoot, the camera's still on. Thanks for watching. See you next time.